It was late evening on the Zorian outpost, a peaceful station that floated in the quiet corner of the galaxy. The stars outside were calm, shining in the endless black. Inside the outpost, everyone was busy with their work. The Zorians were a gentle alien species with smooth blue skin, large bright eyes, and soft voices. They loved to learn and discover new things. Their station was known for its library, full of knowledge from across the universe. Solon, the young Zorian who worked in communications, was always curious. He liked to listen to signals from far away, hoping to find friendly new voices. But today, Solon's fingers were shaking as he tried to tune the radio. He was not looking for friends now. He was looking for help. The day had started normally. The Zorians shared breakfast, spoke about science, and watched the stars. Then, without warning, the alarms sounded. The Brek arrived, an alien species known everywhere for their hunger for power. Their ships were black, sharp, and silent as they circled the outpost like hungry wolves. The Brek's voice came over the speakers. "Surrender now," they said, "or we will take everything." Everyone on the outpost was frightened. The Brek were not interested in peace or knowledge. They only wanted control. The leader of the outpost, Elder Tyros, tried to speak with them. He offered trade and friendship, but the Brek only laughed. They sent a team of soldiers to the outpost and ordered the Zorians to open the gates. The Zorians were not fighters. Their guards were few, their weapons old. Solon watched as the Brek soldiers marched through the halls, pushing and shouting. They forced the Zorians to line up and demanded to see the outpost's power core. When Tyros refused, the Brek threatened to destroy the library. That was when Solon knew he had to act. He ran to the communications room, trying to think of what to do. The Zorians had friends in other parts of the galaxy, but everyone feared the Brek. Solon remembered stories he had heard when he was small. Old stories about a planet far away, a planet where even the plants were dangerous, where animals hunted, with teeth and claws. The planet was called Earth. Its people were called Deathworlders. The name made Solon's heart beat faster. Legends said that if you called Earth for help, you must be ready to pay a price. Earth people, humans, never forgot, a friend or a foe. Some Zorians believed that if humans came, they would save you from your enemies. Others whispered that humans were too dangerous, and that once they got involved, nothing was ever the same. But Solon had no choice. He pushed the button to send an SOS. He typed a message as quickly as he could, his hands trembling. "To any Earthship, this is the Zorian outpost requesting help. We are under attack by the Brek. Please, if you receive this, answer us. We need your help." He pressed send, and the signal shot through space. For a moment, Solon was afraid. Had wow. He done the right thing? He remembered Elder Tyrus's words. "Solon, sometimes hope is all we have." Solon closed his eyes and hoped the message would find someone out there. Down the hall, the Brek were shouting. Solon heard something crash and people crying. He wanted to help, but he was afraid. He could only wait. The next hours were full of worry. The Brek took control of the power room and started searching the library. They broke into the food storage and laughed as they threw things around. The Zorians tried to stay calm, but everyone was scared. Elder Tyros tried to protect the young ones. He told them stories to keep them brave. Solon stayed by his radio, listening for a reply. In the middle of the night, the radio crackled. At first, Solon thought he was dreaming. Then he heard a voice, strong and clear, speaking in a language that was not Zorian. Solon quickly turned on the translator. "This is Earthship Pathfinder. We have received your SOS. Please confirm your situation. Stand by for assistance." Solon's heart leaped. He called Elder Tyros right away. The elder was tired, but his eyes shone with hope when he heard the news. The other Zorians gathered around, listening as Solon spoke with the Earthship. Solon explained everything. The Breck are here. They have taken control. We need help, please. The human voice was calm. Understood. Hold your position. We will arrive soon. Do not let the Breck know you have contacted us. Solon promised. He felt a strange mix of fear and hope. The stories about humans made them sound like both heroes and monsters. He did not know what would happen next. Soon, the Breck noticed something was wrong. One of them saw the radio blinking and yelled at Solon. Solon pretended it was only a weather report. The Breck did not believe him, but they did not know how to use the Zorian machines. They threw Solon out of the room and locked the door. Outside, the Zorians whispered to each other. Some were happy, thinking help would come. Others were afraid. Humans are Deathworlders, they said. They might save us, but what will they want in return? Elder Tyros called everyone together. He spoke softly, but his words were strong. We asked for help. We must be ready to accept whatever comes. We cannot let fear stop us. If humans are as strong as the stories say, maybe they can end the Breck's cruelty for good. All night, the Zorians waited. Solon could not sleep. He watched the stars through the window, looking for any sign of a ship. The Breck grew restless, searching every room and shouting at everyone. They did not know that help was already on the way. In the early morning, the alarms sounded again. This time, it was not the Breck. It was something new. The Zorians looked outside and saw a small, tough-looking ship gliding toward them. Its engines glowed, and its metal hull was scratched and dented, but it moved with confidence. The Breck rushed to their weapons and shouted for everyone to hide. The ship landed on the outpost's small docking platform. The door opened slowly. Out stepped a human, tall and strong, wearing armor that looked simple but powerful. The human's eyes were sharp, and their face was calm. More humans followed, moving quietly and carefully. The Zorians watched from behind the windows. Solon felt his heart beating fast. This was it, the moment when everything would change. Would the humans be as brave as the stories said? Would they save the Zorians? Or would they ask for something impossible in return? The human leader, a woman named Maya Reeves, raised her hand in greeting. Her voice was firm but not unkind. We are here because you called for help. Tell us what you need. Elder Tyros stepped forward, bowing slightly. We are in your debt. The Breck are strong. We cannot fight them. We ask only for your help to protect our people. Maya nodded. She looked around, her eyes studying the outpost and the nervous faces. She seemed to understand everything quickly. She turned to her team and spoke quietly. The humans spread out, moving with careful purpose. They began to set up small machines and check the outpost's defenses. The Breck watched from a distance, confused. They did not know if these humans were friends or enemies, but Maya's presence made them uneasy. The stories about humans were not just tales for children, they were warnings for everyone. Solon felt a shiver run down his back. He knew, deep in his heart, that things would never be the same. The price of sending an SOS to Earth was still unknown. But hope had come, riding on the wings of the Deathworlders. Maya Reeves stood tall at the entrance of the Zorian outpost. Her team, dressed in the simple but strong armor of Earth, spread out behind her. They did not carry big weapons in their hands, but every movement showed confidence. Their faces were calm, but their eyes stayed sharp, watching everything. The humans walked like they were always ready for anything. The Zorians, hidden behind glass doors and around corners, could not stop staring at these visitors from the famous Death World. For them, humans were more legend than reality. The way the human team moved, silent, steady, never panicking, was both frightening and comforting. They seemed like people who knew danger very well, but who were also not afraid of it. Inside, Elder Tyros and Solon waited nervously. Tyros, the wise leader, tried to calm everyone, but even he felt nervous. He did not know what would happen, now that the humans had landed. The Breck were still in control of many rooms, including the power room and most of the library. But now, the situation had changed. The first sign of this change came when Maya walked directly to the main hall. She did not rush, but her steps were strong. The Breck soldiers at the far end of the hall saw her and shouted for her to stop. One of the Breck pointed a strange weapon at her, but Maya did not slow down. She raised her hands, showing she was not holding any weapon. Her voice was calm and loud. "We are not here to fight, but we will not let you harm these people anymore," the Breck laughed. The tallest one, their leader, stepped forward and glared at Maya. "You must be the humans from Earth. You are only a few. Do you really think you can stop us?" Maya looked at him, then at her team, and nodded once. That small sign was all she needed to give. Her team quickly spread out in different directions. One human moved to the left, slipping behind boxes. Another went right, checking the control panels. The rest stood in a straight line, forming a wall between the Breck and the Zorians. The Breck leader raised his voice. "Earth is just a story. You will leave now, or we will make you leave." Maya did not blink. "I am giving you one chance. Let the Zorians go. Leave this outpost peacefully." For a few seconds there was silence. The only sound was the soft hum of the machines. Then the Breck laughed again, louder this time. The leader raised his weapon and aimed it at Maya, but Maya did not look afraid. She stepped forward, her eyes cold but steady. "You think Earth is only a story? That is your mistake. We do not bluff, we do not forget, and we do not run from bullies." The Breck did not know what to do. They had never met anyone who spoke to them like this. Most people were afraid. Most people begged for mercy. But these humans showed no fear. In the background, Solon watched everything from the security camera feed. He whispered to Elder Tyros, "She is different. The stories, they are true." Elder Tyros nodded. "We must trust her, but we must also be ready." Outside, the Breck soldiers began to argue. Some wanted to attack the humans, but others were suddenly unsure. The rumors about Earth and its people were old, but they were powerful. Even the bravest Breck had heard stories about humans fighting. Giant monsters, surviving storms, and building cities in the most dangerous places. Before anyone could move, one of Maya's team members stepped forward. His name was Joel. He spoke with a kind voice, but his words were strong. "We know your tricks, Breck. We have seen worse than you. If you try to harm anyone here, you will not win." The Breck leader grew angry. He shouted, "You will regret coming here. We control this outpost now." Joel just smiled a little. "You controlled it, not anymore." Suddenly, the lights in the hallway flickered. The floor under the Breck soldiers started to shake. A deep, echoing alarm sounded. An alarm that only the humans could have set up so quickly. While the Breck had been focused on Maya and her team, the humans had already started to take control of the outpost's systems. They used tools from their packs, connecting them to the outpost's wires and computers. They moved fast and quietly, just as they had been trained to do. Maya gave another small signal. The humans pressed a button on their tools, and hidden panels in the walls slid open, revealing small metal traps. These were not deadly traps, but ones made to capture and slow down attackers. In moments, 2 Breck soldiers found themselves stuck by their feet as the floor grabbed them. The others were startled and jumped back, confused and angry. Solon and Elder Tyros watched in amazement. The humans had turned the outpost's own systems into defenses, using simple technology in clever ways. They did not need to fight with lasers or big guns. Their real strength was their creativity and quick thinking. The Breck tried to fight back, but every time they moved forward, another trap slowed them down. One of the humans had even turned a kitchen appliance into a machine that sprayed foam, making the floor slippery for the Breck. Another had reprogrammed the food dispenser to shoot out metal balls, forcing the Breck to duck for cover. Still, the Breck were not ready to give up. Their leader shouted for his soldiers to regroup. "Find the human tools! Break them! We are not leaving!" Maya spoke once more, her voice echoing through the hallways by using the outpost speakers. "You still have a choice. Surrender, and no one gets hurt. Stay, and you will see what humans can really do." The Breck leader hesitated. He had never been pushed like this before. He looked at his soldiers, then at the humans who were standing firm, calm, and unafraid. In the control room, Solon realized something important. He turned to Elder Tyros. "They are not here to destroy. They are here to protect us, but on their own terms." Tyros nodded. "Humans never show mercy to those who attack their friends. We must help them as much as we can." The Zorians, inspired by the humans' bravery, started to take small actions. Some blocked doors with furniture. Others helped the humans by showing them secret passages in the outpost. Solon used his knowledge of the communication systems to send private messages to Maya's team, sharing the locations of the Breck. As the hours passed, the Breck grew tired and angry. Every plan they tried, the humans were already prepared. Every surprise attack failed. The Breck realized that fighting humans was not like fighting anyone else. At one point, the Breck tried to cut power to the outpost, hoping it would stop the humans. But Maya's team had already set up backup power sources. They had learned from their home planet, where everything tried to kill you and only the prepared survived. Meanwhile, the Zorians started to trust the humans more. Children watched from safe rooms as Maya's team worked. They saw that humans were not monsters, but people who used their skills to protect others. Elder Tyros met with Maya, thanking her for everything. Maya nodded, but her face was serious. "We came because you called for help, but you must understand, Earth does not help for free. When this is over, you will have a choice to make." Tyros looked at her, understanding. "We will stand with Earth if you save us. We know the price now." Maya smiled a little. "Good. Together, we are stronger." The fighting continued into the night. The Breck, now tired and afraid, started to lose hope. The humans never gave up, never got angry, never lost focus. The Breck realized the stories were true. Deathworlders never show mercy to those who threaten their friends. In the end, as the second day began, the humans had taken back almost the entire outpost. The Breck were trapped in a single room, their leader now less confident, less proud. Maya and her team stood outside, ready for the final move. But before that moment, Maya called Solon and Tyros. She wanted them to see what came next. She wanted them to understand what it meant to ask Earth for help. The air inside the Zorian outpost was thick with tension as the new day's first light touched the windows. All through the long night, the humans and Zorians had worked together, while the Breck had grown more desperate. The station, once quiet and peaceful, now felt alive with hope, fear, and the memory of battles fought in the halls. Maya Reeves, the human leader, stood with Elder Tyros and Solon just outside the locked door where the last Breck soldiers were trapped. Maya's eyes studied every detail of the scene: the door, the walls, the nervous faces of the Zorians, and the quiet strength of her own team. She did not smile or speak softly, but her calm made the others feel brave. Inside the room, the Breck leader paced like a caged animal. He could hear the quiet sounds outside, the steady steps of the humans, the soft voices of the Zorians. The Breck soldiers around him looked tired and afraid. They had always believed their power could not be challenged. Now they wondered if the stories about Deathworlders were true. Elder Tyros spoke softly to Maya. "What will you do now?" Maya answered in her steady voice. We give them one more chance to surrender, but if they fight, we will stop them. No one else should get hurt. Solon watched Maya, noticing how she kept her promise. She did not show anger or hate. She showed control, even respect for the Breck. It made Solon think about the legends he had heard as a child. Maybe humans were not monsters after all. Maybe they were just survivors who refused to lose. Maya raised her wrist device and spoke into it. Breck leader, this is Commander Maya Reeves of Earth. You are surrounded. Surrender now, and you will not be harmed. Fight, and we will stop you. There was silence. The Breck leader glanced at his soldiers. Some looked ready to drop their weapons. Others still held on to hope that a miracle would save them. Finally, the Breck leader shouted back, his voice full of fear and pride. We do not surrender to Deathworlders. Maya sighed. She nodded to her team, who moved into position quickly. Solon's heart raced as he watched. The humans set small, silent machines around the door. One pressed a button, and with a gentle pop, the door unlocked and slid open. Inside, the Breck were ready, but so were the humans. Maya and her team moved fast, too fast for the Breck to react. In just seconds, the humans used energy shields and nets to trap the Breck without hurting them. No shots were fired. No one was injured. The Breck found themselves tangled, staring up at humans who never even raised their voices. Elder Tyros stepped into the room, followed by Solon. The Zorians watched as Maya spoke quietly to her team, making sure everyone was safe. The Breck leader stared at Maya, a mixture of anger and disbelief in his eyes. You could have destroyed us, the Breck leader said. Why didn't you? Maya looked at him, her face steady. We only fight to protect. If you surrender, we show mercy, but we never allow harm to come to those we defend. The Breck leader hung his head. He could not argue anymore. One by one, the Breck soldiers dropped their weapons. Maya gave the order to secure them safely, treating them like prisoners of war, not like animals. The outpost grew quiet for a moment, as if the building itself was taking a deep breath. Then, slowly, the Zorians began to come out of hiding. They stepped into the open, staring at the humans in awe and relief. Solon ran to the window and saw the stars outside. For the first time in days, they seemed to shine with hope again. Elder Tyros called everyone together in the main hall. The Zorians gathered, whispering, some even crying with happiness. Maya stood before the group, her team beside her. She did not look proud, but there was a quiet strength in her eyes. Elder Tyros thanked Maya and the humans. You saved us when no one else would. We owe you our lives. Maya nodded. We answered your call because you were in danger. But now, you must understand, Earth's help comes with a price. We protect our friends, but we also expect loyalty in return. Solon looked at Elder Tyros, worried. He wondered what Maya meant. Tyros spoke up, his voice calm but serious. What does Earth ask of us? Maya replied, You must join the Earth Alliance. It means that if another outpost calls for help, you will answer too. It means you share your knowledge and technology with the Alliance. Together we are stronger, and we do not leave anyone behind. There was a long silence. The Zorians whispered to each other. Some were afraid to make promises to such powerful beings. Others remembered how close they had come to losing everything. Solon spoke up, his voice quiet but brave. If we do not join, what will happen? Maya's answer was honest. You will still be safe today, but the galaxy is changing. The Breck are not the only threat. Together, as allies, we can face anything. Alone, you may be at risk again. Elder Tyros nodded. We will discuss your offer. For now, thank you for your honesty and your help. The Zorians held a meeting while the humans stood guard, making sure the outpost was secure. Inside the meeting room, Elder Tyros asked everyone to speak their mind. One old Zorian stood and said, I have seen what happens when we face enemies alone. The Breck took our power, our peace, and almost our lives. The humans are strong, but they use their strength to save us, not to rule us. Another Zorian, younger and afraid, worried, "What if we join and then Earth asks for more? What if we cannot meet their expectations?" Elder Tyros replied, "We have seen their courage and respect. They ask for loyalty, not for control. We must decide if we want to stand with the strong or stay alone and afraid." Outside, Maya watched the stars. Joel, her team member, joined her. "Do you think they'll agree?" he asked. Maya nodded slowly. "They are wise. They will see that unity is the only way forward. This galaxy is dangerous for anyone alone." Joel smiled. "They're braver than they know. I saw it when they started helping us with the traps. They'll make good allies." Back in the meeting room, the discussion went on for hours. In the end, the Zorians voted. It was not an easy choice, but most agreed. They could not risk another Breck attack. They wanted to stand with Earth. When Elder Tyros returned to the main hall, he faced Maya and her team. "We accept your offer. The Zorian outpost will join the Earth Alliance. We will stand together." Maya smiled. A real smile this time. "Welcome to the Alliance. We will share our knowledge, our strength, and our friendship." The next days were full of work. The humans repaired the outpost, fixing the power and cleaning up the damage. They trained the Zorians in basic defense, teaching them simple tricks to protect themselves. The Zorians, in turn, shared some of their advanced technology and showed the humans the wonders of their great library. Solon found himself drawn to the humans. He asked Maya about Earth, about the stories he had heard as a child. Maya told him about Earth's wild animals, about storms and jungles, deserts and oceans. She explained why humans never gave up, because Earth taught them to be strong. Solon realized something important. "Maybe you are called Deathworlders because your world is hard, but it made you better, not cruel." Maya nodded. "That is true. Hard places make strong people. But it is our choice what we do with that strength." The Breck, now prisoners, were treated fairly. The humans and Zorians fed them and gave them water, but watched them carefully. Maya made sure they knew they would not be hurt, but they would also never again threaten innocent people. With the Breck defeated and the outpost safe, the humans prepared to leave. Before they did, Maya recorded a message to send to any nearby systems. In her calm, steady voice, she warned, "If you threaten our friends, you will face Earth, and Earth never gives up." As the human ship took off, Solon stood by the window, watching until it disappeared among the stars. The outpost was peaceful once again, but everything had changed. The Zorians knew they were not alone anymore. They had powerful friends. Deathworlders who showed mercy to their friends, but never to those who threatened them. And so, the legend of the humans grew even stronger, traveling from one world to the next. Everyone learned what the Zorians now knew. Sending an SOS to Earth comes with a price, but it is a price worth paying if you. The days after the battle felt new for everyone on the Zorian outpost. The air was lighter, but a quiet tension still remained. Old routines slowly returned, but nothing was truly the same. The Zorians looked at the halls and rooms where the Breck soldiers once marched. Now the halls were filled with hope, careful rebuilding, and the quiet strength left behind by their new human friends. Everywhere, Zorians whispered about what had happened. Stories traveled quickly from one person to the next. Some spoke about the terrifying Breck and how close they had come to losing everything. Others, especially the younger Zorians, spoke about the humans, about Maya Reeves and her team, who seemed almost like heroes from another world. Children played in the halls, pretending to be Deathworlders saving the outpost from the Breck. But not everyone was completely happy. Some older Zorians remembered the fear they felt when the Breck arrived. They still worried about the price of joining the Earth Alliance. What if, someday, the humans called for help and the Zorians were not strong enough to answer? What if new dangers came, even greater than the Breck? Elder Tyros spent his mornings meeting with other leaders, discussing their new role as allies. He explained to everyone, "We called for help, and Earth answered. We saw with our own eyes that unity is stronger than fear. But now, we must be brave too. We must learn, train, and prepare. Friendship means standing together, not hiding when others are in need." Solon was busy as well. He wanted to learn everything he could from the humans before they left. He spent hours with Maya and her team, asking questions about Earth and its history. Maya was patient, sometimes even amused by Solon's endless curiosity. She told him about old Earth wars, disasters, and how humans had learned to work together, even with their differences. One evening, as the sun's gentle light came through the outpost windows, Maya called a meeting with the main Zorian leaders. The room was quiet, everyone listening carefully. Maya explained the final steps for joining the Earth Alliance. "This is not just a promise on paper. This is a true partnership. You will have a seat at our council. You will share your wisdom and technology. In return, Earth will defend you, but you must also be ready to help others in need." A Zorian scientist named Lyran asked, "What if we are too small to help? What if we are afraid?" Maya's answer was gentle but clear. "No one expects you to fight alone. We stand together. Sometimes help is a signal sent across the stars. Sometimes it is a simple message of warning, and sometimes it is just standing brave beside your friends. What matters is unity." After the meeting, Elder Tyros invited Maya for a quiet walk through the library, the heart of the outpost. The shelves, filled with ancient data crystals and handwritten scrolls, had been spared from the Breck's anger. Tyros stopped and turned to Maya. "When you answered our call, I was afraid. I worried that Deathworlders would bring more danger, then safety. But now I see you are not just strong, you are wise. You show mercy to your enemies and respect to your friends. I am grateful." Maya smiled gently. "We are shaped by our world, Elder Tyros. Earth is not easy. It taught us to never give up, but also to value every friend we find." Tyros nodded, understanding. "We have been alone for a long time. Now we are not alone. That is both a gift and a responsibility." As the Zorians prepared to send word to other nearby outposts, Maya's team started training sessions for anyone who wanted to learn. The training was not just about fighting. The humans taught the Zorians how to build simple defenses using everyday tools, how to create alarms, how to move quickly and quietly when danger appeared. The lessons were easy to follow and made the Zorians feel strong for the first time. Young Zorians, especially, were excited to learn. They laughed as they practiced rolling out of the way, crawling through small spaces, and even building harmless traps with things from the kitchen. Maya watched with a smile. She saw the spark of courage growing in each of them. At the same time, Maya and her team repaired parts of the outpost's computer system that had been damaged. They connected the outpost's systems to the wider network of the Earth Alliance. Now, if trouble came again, the Zorians could call for help instantly and not wait in fear. The Breck prisoners were kept in a safe but simple room. Every day, Zorian. Guards brought them food and water, treating them with basic respect. Maya visited them once. She spoke directly to the Breck leader. "You came here thinking fear would win. It did not. When you go home, tell others that Earth and its allies protect each other." The Breck leader, no longer proud, simply nodded. He realized that strength was not about power or weapons, but about unity and purpose. As the days passed, the outpost slowly returned to normal, but now there was a sense of pride and hope. The Zorians were no longer just quiet learners. They were members of something greater. One day, A message arrived from another nearby outpost. The message was not a call for help, but a greeting. "We heard what happened. Are you safe? Do you need anything?" The Zorians answered proudly, "We are safe. We are now part of the Earth Alliance. We are ready to stand with our friends." That night, the outpost held a small celebration. Zorians gathered in the main hall. Elder Tyros spoke to everyone. "We called for help, and the Deathworlders came. We saw their strength, but also their kindness. We saw that legends are not always true. They are often just a small part of the whole story." Solon, standing with Maya, added, "We are not afraid anymore. We are not alone. We will help others, just as we were helped." Maya raised a glass in the human tradition. "To new friends and new beginnings, may our worlds be stronger together." Everyone cheered. The room was filled with laughter, music, and new hope. But even as they celebrated, Maya never let her guard down. She knew that somewhere out there, other dangers were waiting. The galaxy was large and sometimes dark, but now there was a growing light, a light created by trust, unity, and the courage to ask for help and to give it in return. As the celebration continued, Maya stood by a window looking out into the stars. Solon joined her, silent for a moment. "Do you think we will ever see the Breck again?" he asked. Maya replied softly, "The galaxy is always changing. But if they come, they will find us ready, and they will learn, as you did, that Earth never stands alone." Solon nodded, feeling a quiet strength grow inside him. The stories of Deathworlders had once been filled with fear, but now he understood the truth. It was not fear that made humans strong, but their refusal to give up and their promise never to abandon a friend. A few days later, Maya prepared her team to leave. The repairs were finished, the training complete, and the outpost fully connected to the Alliance. Before leaving, Maya left a message in the outpost's records. "Earth came because you called. Remember, you are not alone. Stand together, and you will never have to face the dark by yourself again." As the human ship lifted off, the Zorians gathered on the docking platform, waving goodbye. Some had tears in their eyes, others were smiling, but all felt changed forever. From the window of her ship, Maya watched the small blue outpost grow smaller and smaller until it was just another shining light among millions in the galaxy. She smiled, knowing they had made a real difference, not just by fighting, but by showing another world the power of hope, courage, and unity. The departure of the human ship left a strange quietness on the Zorian outpost. For a while, everyone moved a little slower. The halls that had once echoed with fear and hope now felt larger, emptier, but also safer. No one forgot the sight of Maya Reeves and her team boarding their ship, waving a final goodbye. The humans had been like a storm, arriving suddenly, changing everything, then leaving behind a new, clearer sky. But life on the outpost did not stop. The Zorians returned to their work, but now with a sense of pride and purpose they had never known before. They checked the newly repaired systems, made sure the library was safe, and reviewed the security plans the humans had left them. Each small job felt important, because now every Zorian understood what was at stake. They were not just keeping themselves safe, they were a part of something much larger. Elder Tyros met with the council every morning. His words were full of encouragement. "Remember what we learned. Together we can face anything. We are no longer alone, and we have a duty to help others, just as the humans helped us." Solon took his new role seriously. He was now in charge of communication with the Earth Alliance. Every day he checked the network, shared news, and received updates from other worlds. Sometimes he even spoke to Maya herself, who sent friendly messages from her new assignments in faraway star systems. Her messages were short, but full of meaning. "Stay ready. The galaxy is wide, and friends are never far away," she would write. Meanwhile, the Breck prisoners remained on the outpost, waiting for the Alliance to pick them up for trial. The Zorians continued to treat them fairly. They gave them food, water, and books from the library. At first, the Breck only glared in silence, not understanding this kindness. But slowly, some began to ask questions. They wondered why the Zorians had not taken revenge, why they were not punished for their actions. One day, the Breck leader, who was called Vark, asked to speak with Elder Tyros. Vark's voice was not proud like before. It was tired and uncertain. "Why did you not punish us?" he asked. "We took your power. We scared your people. In the old ways, we would pay for that." Tyros answered honestly, "We are not your enemies now. We are guardians of peace. We hope you learn from this. If you choose peace, there is a place for you among the stars." Vark did not reply right away. He thought about Tyros's words long after the meeting. Maybe not all enemies stayed enemies forever. Life continued. The Zorians became stronger. Every week they held new training sessions using the lessons Maya and her team had shared. Young Zorians learned to build alarms, use the radio, and help each other. The older Zorians took turns standing guard. Everyone practiced the drills that could save lives if danger ever came again. But the biggest change was inside each Zorian's heart. The fear that once lived there had faded, replaced by a quiet courage. When news came from other outposts, sometimes with warnings of new threats, sometimes with happy greetings, the Zorians did not feel weak or helpless. They felt prepared. One morning, a distress signal came from a nearby world, an outpost run by a friendly species called the Salary. Their message was full of worry. "Unknown ships have entered our space. We are afraid. We ask for help. The K." Zorian Council met right away. Everyone remembered how it felt to wait in fear for help to arrive. Now, it was their turn to answer the call. Elder Tyros spoke first. "The time has come for us to stand with our friends. We will not forget what the humans did for us." Solon nodded. "We are ready. I will send the message and ask how we can help." The Zorians gathered supplies, checked their small ships, and made plans to share information with the Solari. They did not go alone. Messages flew through the Alliance network, and soon ships from other allied worlds also promised to help. When the Zorian ship landed on the Solari outpost, the Solari were surprised and grateful. The Zorians shared what they had learned: how to build defenses, how to use hidden signals, and how to stay strong even when afraid. The Solari, in turn, promised to support the Zorians if trouble ever came their way. That night, as the Zorian crew prepared to return home, one young Salary asked Solène, "Is it true what they say about humans? That they never give up and never leave friends behind?" Solon smiled. "It is true. But I have learned something else. It is not only humans who are brave. Any world, no matter how small, can be strong if it stands together with its friends." Back on the Zorian outpost, life settled into a new kind of normal. The people studied, worked, and laughed. They remembered the fear of the Breck attack, but they also remembered the feeling of unity and hope that had followed. A few weeks later, news finally arrived. The Breck prisoners would be taken to an Alliance court. Elder Tyros and Solon stood, with Vark and the other Breck as they boarded the shuttle. Tyros offered a final word of advice. "Choose peace, Vark. The stars are wide. There is room for everyone who wants to live in harmony." Vark did not reply at first, but before the doors closed, he nodded. Perhaps he was starting to understand the lesson of the Deathworlders. Mercy is not weakness, and true strength comes from helping others. The days continued to pass, marked by the gentle rhythm of study, work, and friendship. The outpost welcomed visitors from nearby worlds, exchanging stories and learning new skills. Children grew up hearing the true tale of the humans who came when hope was almost lost. They learned that legends are not only stories of fear, they can also be stories of friendship and courage. One night, as Solon watched the stars through the clear window, he remembered the moment he sent the SOS to Earth. He thought about how afraid he had been, how heavy the decision had felt. Now he was grateful he had been brave enough to press send. The price of calling the Deathworlders had not been simple. It had meant opening his world to change, to new responsibilities, and to the unknown. But it had also brought new friends, new hope, and a future where the Zorians were never alone again. As he stood by the window, a new message arrived. It was from Maya. "Hello, Solon. I hope you and your people are well. I heard about your mission. To the Solari. You made us proud. Remember, the Alliance is only as strong as its smallest member. Keep looking after each other. Until we meet again. Commander Maya Reeves." Solon smiled, feeling a warm pride in his heart. He knew now what it meant to be a part of the Earth Alliance. It was more than ships and shields. It was the promise that no one would ever be forgotten, and that together they could face anything the galaxy sent their way. The Zorian outpost shined like a bright star among many, a symbol of hope and unity. And somewhere, out in the wide universe, the legend of the Deathworlders grew, not as a story of fear, but as a story of friendship, courage, and the promise that help would always come, as long as someone was brave enough to ask. The end.